the ancient symbolism of owl. If an owl has crossed your path, whether in real life, in a dream, or even as a thought that keeps returning, that is not random. Owls have carried a message across every culture and every century. And once you understand what that message is, you'll never look at one the same way again. What the ancient world believed the owl is one of the oldest symbols in human history. And what's striking is this: cultures that never met each other, on opposite sides of the world, all came to the same conclusion about this bird. In ancient Greece, the owl was the companion of Athena, goddess of wisdom. It was so important to Greek culture that they put it on their coins. When Greek soldiers saw an owl before a battle, they took it as a sign of victory. The Romans held a darker view. To them, the owl was an omen. Its call at night could predict the death of Julius Caesar, of Augustus. The hoot of an owl in Roman culture meant something profound was about to change. Across Native American traditions, and these vary greatly between nations, the owl is often seen as a messenger between the living and the dead. Some tribes considered it a protector. Others treated its appearance as a warning to pay attention. In almost all cases, the owl arrives when something needs to be seen. And in Celtic tradition, the owl was known as a guardian of the underworld, a creature that could navigate between worlds, seeing in the dark what others cannot. Different cultures, the same core truth. The owl sees what is hidden, what it means for you spiritually. So what does the owl represent on a deeper spiritual level? Wisdom and inner knowing. The owl doesn't hunt by brute force. It uses silence, patience, and extraordinary perception. Spiritually, it's a symbol of trusting the knowledge that lives inside you. The kind of knowing that doesn't come from reading or being told. It comes from stillness, the ability to see through illusion. Owls have vision that penetrates total darkness. When this bird appears in your life, it's often a nudge. Something around you is not what it appears to be. A situation, a relationship, a belief you've been holding. The owl asks you to look again, more deeply this time. Transition and change. Because of its connection to night and to the unseen, the owl frequently appears during times of transition. The end of one chapter, the beginning of another. If you're in a period of change right now, this is not a coincidence. Connection to those who have passed. This is perhaps the most emotionally powerful association. In many spiritual traditions, owls are seen as carriers of messages from loved ones who have died. If an owl has appeared to you shortly after a loss, many people report this. It may be worth sitting with that, rather than dismissing it. The owl as a symbol of solitude. Unlike most birds, the owl moves through the world alone and in silence. Spiritually, it can appear as a reminder that the answers you're seeking won't be found in noise or in other people's opinions. They'll come when you get quiet enough to hear yourself. The owl is not a frightening symbol, despite what some traditions suggest. It is a symbol of depth, of truth, of the parts of reality that most people are too distracted to perceive. So what does it mean when an owl appears specifically to you? If you see an owl in waking life, flying past you, sitting and watching you, or making eye contact, pay attention to what you were thinking about in that moment. That thought, that worry, that question. The owl may be pointing directly at it. If it appears in a dream, ask yourself, what in my life am I not seeing clearly? The dream owl rarely comes to frighten. It comes to illuminate. And if the owl keeps appearing in different forms, in art, in conversation, on social media, treat that as a signal. Something is trying to get your attention. The question is, are you willing to look? The owl doesn't always bring comfortable truths, but it always brings necessary ones. The owl has been watching humanity for thousands of years. And whether you encountered one in the physical world or it simply found its way into your awareness today, you were meant to know what it means. If you're drawn to this kind of deeper symbolism, there's a lot more here on the channel. Animal meanings, angel numbers, and the hidden language the universe uses to reach us. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. And tell me in the comments, when did an owl appear in your life? And what was happening for you at the time?